with Deborah and Karen, the two New Mexico real estate ladies here again. We were wanting to do a kind of an informational. There's a lot of people that come to us wanting a nice piece of land and a house on it. Okay, they want a half acre, they want an acre, they want 5 acres, and they're like, Karen, Deborah, what are our options? How do we do this? How do we have one of these nice homes on land? Okay. So this is just an overview going over the difference between a stick-built house, building your own, not building it, but just what's the difference between a stick-built house, a manufactured home, and a modular home. Okay, those are 3 different types of homes. The manufactured and modular are related. So we're just going to go over some of these details because it's important to know what you're talking about and the difference in cost as well. Okay, so for a stick-built home, the things you have to consider is that they're built to the current codes in that particular place, in that city, they're all pretty much the same across the state of New Mexico. And that's going to be codes in terms of how they lay out the electrical, how they lay out the plumbing, how they set up the structure, what kind of foundation they put it on, all those kinds of things. And a stick-built house generally will qualify for a conventional loan, a VA loan, an FHA loan. None of those are issues. Financing is relatively easy on a new built home. Price per square foot, you're generally talking in today's the end of 2021 market, you're looking at about $125 to $135 a square foot minimum, basic. Okay,
and that does not include the land. That's just the house.
That is just the house. Okay, so if you're absolutely in love with Carrara marble and you really have to have it in your house, assume that's going to be a large extra charge on top of that price. If you want to upgrade the bathrooms tremendously, you're going to pay for that, okay, out of pot extra. Those will not be included in a standard $125 to $135 price per square foot. And we will probably do some videos later on with a custom home builder that we have in the area that can answer questions. A lot of people ask about stick-built homes. Just give us a general idea in terms of options and things that are important and things to look at, okay, questions to ask. Now, if you're looking at manufactured versus modular, they're similar in the sense that they're both built in a factory. They're built off-site in a factory under environmentally controlled conditions. So they're not built outside where it's raining or where it's ice cold that day and it's like a dry, that kind of icy drizzle that you can get sometimes. It's built in a very environmentally controlled environment. And so you can also control the timeline. So if you know you're moving in February, you're going to be looking for your property, your house 6 to 8 months in advance, and you can make plans on having that house delivered in February when you get there. Okay, so it kind of gives you a certain amount of control over the situation. While a stick-built house, they may tell you it'll take 6 months, but it'll usually take 8 to 12. Okay, and they might tell you December, we promise we'll have you in by Christmas, but nobody can guarantee that. Because with labor shortages, and even before COVID hit, I worked for a new home builder. I will not name names of America's biggest builder, okay? But many times, you can't control weather. You can't pour foundation if it's soaking wet outside,
right.
Okay? And granted out here, that's usually not an issue. There's always things going on. If it's gusting horrible wind, they're not laying the shingles on that roof. Okay, because they're not going to risk their lives up there and getting knocked down.
Right.
So that might delay it a week if you have a week of wind. So there's different things weather factors affect stick-built homes, while weather factors don't affect manufactured or modular homes. Now, if you're looking at manufactured versus modular homes, you're going to be looking at a slight price difference. I've seen generally price differences of anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 because modular homes are built a little bit differently. They're all built according to the code in the particular area where they're built. Okay, Deborah, tell us a little bit about the difference, in your opinion, between between manufactured and modular homes.
So manufactured and modular homes are both built according to certain FHA standards. So they do have controls over what kind of materials they use and that sort of thing. Once a house is on the ground, there really isn't a whole lot of way to tell just from looking at the outside whether it's a manufactured home or a modular home. Really, the only way that you can tell is by going underneath it. And they are always, if you put a manufactured home on a permanent foundation Modular homes are always on a permanent foundation, but they always have crawl spaces. So really the only way you can tell the difference is to go underneath it, because manufactured homes are built on a metal chassis. They have axles. So they get put on wheels, and that's how they get to the site where they're going to be placed. When they put them on a permanent foundation, they remove the wheels, but the axles are still there and the metal chassis is still there. A modular home is built on the same kind of platform as a stick-built house. It's 2x6 construction generally, and they put it on a permanent foundation.
So there'll be a slab underneath both a manufactured and a modular, but you can go under, not a slab, I'm sorry, crawl space.
Right.
Underneath both, so you can crawl under there, look at how it's done, how they laid it, put it down. But if you're looking at a stick-built house, generally out here in New Mexico, they're not built with a crawl space at all. They're just put straight on the slab. Okay, so that's one way to tell. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that even though it might only be a $15,000 to $20,000 difference between that modular and manufactured home, with the modular homes are always built according to stick-built standards. Okay, that's the difference. Modular home will always be labeled a modular home, but it will always be considered a stick-built. Okay. And what that means is that the financing will never change. So let's say you bought that home and 10 years later, you get moved, you retire, you want to leave. When you sell that house, it's just a house. You don't label it as a manufactured home. So whoever comes in and buys it can go ahead and take out an FHA loan, a VA loan, a conventional loan without problem. Okay. Because it was built according to stick-built codes wherever it was built at that time. Now, manufactured home is a little different. So if that manufactured home is on a permanent foundation, okay, and you have never moved it, okay, let me back up. If it's new, if you're putting a brand new manufactured home down, you have no issues financing it. The dealer will help you get the loan, and there's plenty of places that will do a loan on a manufactured home, okay? Single wide or double wide, doesn't matter. Now, the kicker comes when you go to resell it. Let's say you leave and you want to sell that house. So whoever you're selling it to, if it's a single wide, they have to pay cash. Generally speaking, I have yet to find a lender. If you have one, please comment below, send us an email.
We'd love to know about it.
We'd love to know about it, but we have not come across a lender that will do a loan on a single wide, period. So you'll get the loan on the land, and the single wide is considered personal property. So either you're paying cash for it out of your pocket, or they'll take it off, or they're just leaving it, who knows.
Well, even if it's on a permanent foundation, because you can put a single wide on a permanent foundation too, but you're still going to have the issue with financing after the fact.
They will not finance. They will not include the value of the actual house in any financing. They might do it as land, right?
I don't know the answer to that.
That can be it gets sticky. Okay, it gets sticky because sometimes they don't want to. We'll leave it at that. A double wide, you can still get financing. You can sell it, but there's kind of an expiration date on that house.
Yes.
Okay. So right now, currently, you cannot get a loan as of today on a mobile home double wide that is older, that was built before 1994. Okay, that's my understanding. Okay, because if they go past a certain age, they won't lend on it anymore, no matter what condition it's in. I've seen homes that people went and remodeled, okay, a double wide built in 1975 or 1980. They completely remodeled it. This house was stunning inside. Okay, they put new cabinets, new floors. They redid all the walls with drywall. I mean, it looked like a brand new regular house, stick-built house on the inside, but it was still a modular home built in 1980. And those folks were still trying to sell it 60 days, 90 days, 100 days later, because I'm not sure that they realized that you can't get financing on that house. It's going to be a cash purchase, or someone that can take out a loan on themselves, a personal loan to pay for it. Okay, so that's a totally different ballpark. These are all things to consider. Now, I've also had investors who came in and said, I could give a hoot how old the house is. Okay, if in 2 years I can't resell it with, to somebody that can get a loan, I don't care, because I'm going to rent it out. Mm-hmm. Because in today's tight rental market, they rent just as quick as a regular house. generally they're on more land, and people love that. They've got land for their kids and their dogs, and if they want chickens or whatever, so they're like, yeah, I'll pay you, $800 to $900 to rent an old mobile home that's in good condition. And for that investor who purchased it at a huge discount, that's a big plus. So these are all things to consider in terms of the differences between stick-built, manufactured, and modular. Modular and stick-built are basically going to be looked at long-term the same, okay? Manufactured is a little bit different. It's going to be a hair cheaper because manufactured homes tend to sell for between 80 to 120 a square foot. But you can control the timing of when you drop that house there if it's brand new. A lot of them are built to very high standards still, and so there's different things to keep in mind.
Yeah, and you need to remember that if it's not on a permanent foundation,
Yes.
It doesn't matter what kind of house it is. It doesn't matter how old it is. It doesn't matter whether it's a single wide or a double wide or a triple wide or a whatever. If it's not on a permanent foundation, it is not, you can't finance it because it's not real property.
Real property.
It is personal property, just like a car or an RV.
Until the title has been deactivated.
Yes.
Okay. And we've handled a lot of bank-owned, foreclosures on these manufactured homes, and that can be a nightmare. You have to be able to dig out that deactivated title in order for somebody to lend on it, even if it's only 10 years old.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are all different steps that are important to understand. So there you have it. That is the difference between stick-built, modular, and manufactured.
And if you have any questions or if you need further information, feel free to text us or call us, and we would be happy to help.
Subscribe and like below. Thank you.